Hey, and welcome back. This is my June wrap-up. I'm currently filming this on July 15th, so even my filming is getting behind. I freaking love myself. But anyway, I have my tier here, my tier ranking list here, and I have all the stuff that I did in June. Looking at it, it does not look like a lot. June was pretty boring for me, apparently. But first, let's go over the tiers. We'll get to why I did this in a minute, but I did, my crushes in Dead by Daylight as the tiers. Because I'm normal. But, number one, we have Legion. I have a crush on Legion. And I know what you're about to say. Is it Legion 4 people? Yes, they are. And my response to that is, and? Then we have the Trapper. We have Wraith. Wraith is like, yeah, okay, like, wouldn't be the worst in the world, but like, I wouldn't go after Wraith. Then we have Mike Myers, not really for me. I can see why some people like it, but not for me. And then Clown, nope. I do not like Clown. Again, this is not I like playing against them, this is my crushes, because I do not like playing against Legion, but damn. I've been reading too much fanfiction. So let's get into the things. We'll start with this actually. So I have Dead by Daylight. Seeing as the tiers are ranked after this, we will guess where Dead by Daylight goes. Oh, look at that, top tier. So I used to play a lot of Dead by Daylight when it first came out. I was in high school, I believe, so I played a little bit of high school and I played some through college, and I was really into it. And then I kind of fell off the game around, I want to say around when Plague came out. And I just recently got back in last month. Again, I'm filming this in July. So I recently got back in June. And I have not stopped playing since. There is only one thing that has stopped me playing from Dead by Daylight every day. And we will talk about that next. And that is Date Everything. Also, top tier. If you don't know what Date Everything is, it is a dating simulator where you can date your household objects. So I fucking took that and ran. The fucking breaker box, that's my boo. And I know you're about to ask which one. I said what I said. Love you, Eddie and Vault. Ah, they're so cute. The breaker box, that's who I was hardcore after. I haven't realized anyone yet. I'm kind of scared to realize people because I heard you can't talk to them anymore. So we'll see. I have almost finished a playthrough on my own. I'm considering doing like maybe another playthrough for the channel, but I don't know how good that would be because I've already experience everything, but I might just do it anyway. We'll just finish up the video games then. We have Fall Guys. Fall Guys is Wraith. I did enjoy playing Fall Guys. I did have a good time playing Fall Guys, but it's not exactly like, I don't love playing Fall Guys. I could take Fall Guys or leave it. I was really just playing Fall Guys because I was playing so much Dead by Daylight. I was like, I need something that's not like as intense as Dead by Daylight. Then we have the new Marina album, Princess of Power. This can go in Trapper. This isn't my favorite Marina album. I still think I like Electra Heart better, but it is pretty up there. After listening to it more and more, I think I do like it better than Ancient Dreams on Modern Land. And I do have my tickets for her tour, so that's exciting. I'm gonna be going to that. I'm so excited. Favorite songs, I love You, obviously. I love Cantissimo. I love Digital Fantasy. Metallic Stallion. I really only like Metallic Stallion though because it reminds me of Carl Heisenberg from Resident Evil 8, and I may or may not have a crush on him. For podcasts, I only listen to the Clues podcast. Trapper, I really like this podcast. I think it's so educational. And I honestly, like, a lot of the cases that they cover, like, I just recently finished listening to the Kaylee Anthony case that they covered. They have a lot more details in that podcast than I've heard in a lot of, like, the YouTube videos that I've watched. Let's go to Criminal Minds, specifically Criminal Minds Season 4. That is Frank. I don't always watch Criminal Minds, but when I do, that is all I do is watch Criminal Minds. I love Criminal Minds. We have Friday the 13th, the first one, the original. Mike Myers. It wasn't exactly my favorite. I really only watched it because this was my first time watching it too. I watched it because this month actually was Friday the 13th. And yeah, I didn't like it that much. I'm probably still gonna watch a couple of the other original Friday the 13th movies just because, like, I know Jason finally becomes a killer in the other ones. This one was his mother. Spoiler alert for a movie that came out in, like, the 80s, I think. But yeah, it just wasn't my favorite. It did very much feel like a cheesy 80s slasher movie, which that's what it is. So like I'm not dissing it for that. It's just wasn't my cup of tea. And then lastly, we come to the solo book that I read this month, and that is A Touch of Fate by Cora Riley. Now, let's talk. Touch of Fate was supposed to originally come out in, I think, 2021, and it got canceled because, if you don't know, this book deals with a female main... What the fuck is that? Oh, that's a pimple. Great. If you don't know, this book deals with a female main character who is disabled. She is in a wheelchair. And this is also a dark mafia romance. And now, in the mafia world, they see women as property. So a woman who has, you know, a disability and is in a wheelchair, she is seen as less than. And I can understand why people took a lot of fault with it. I always go back to, like, yeah, but, like, they view their women as property. They're not... She's viewed as property. I can understand why people are mad at it, but Cora Riley did cancel the book originally and changed some of the language in it, and it finally came out this year. And this was a book I've been waiting about 4 years to read, and it finally came out, and I had very high expectations going into it. And while I was reading it, I was like, oh, this isn't really living up to my expectations. I'm not loving it. This isn't what I wanted. But then I finished the book, and I wanted to immediately reread it. And I wanted to read my favorite quotes again, and I couldn't stop thinking about this book. And you guys probably don't know this because it's going to be 5 ever before this comes out, but in anticipation for this, I did buy all the Cora Riley books, and I was planning on reading them all before the book came out. I eventually started burning myself out around Sweet Temptation in the reading order, so I burnt myself out on that. So I was like, oh, well, I'm still going to read all of them before I read the book, but I just really wanted to read Touch of Fate, so that's what I did. And I was like, ooh, that wasn't yummy Touch of Fate. But then I finished it, and, like, it was a 5-star read for me. I finished it, and while we hit a certain point in the story where something just clicked in my brain, and I was like, damn, I love this book. It's a very subtle book. Not a lot is actually happening in this book, like, plot-wise in the universe or action-wise, and their love is very subtle. Like, it is a slower build. And there is no, like, bold declarations that Samuel or Emma both make. They just eventually are like, yeah, we're in love. But I think that was perfect for these characters. Emma has been through a lot, from being in a car accident to having to learn how to live this life and thriving in this life, and then moving from her city, her comfort, her safe place with her brother and her family to a new place that doesn't really know she doesn't know anyone. Not to mention Samuel, who, if you've read any of the other Cora Riley books, you know, Samuel has been through a lot with his sister Seraphina and his friends and just the Camorra in general. So it was nice to see them, like, kind of have a rest in this book. This book also deals a lot with Samuel's mental health. I don't want to spoil it, but we deal a lot with, not only with Emma's physical disabilities, but with Samuel's, I don't want to say mental disabilities, but mental ailments. And I loved seeing that aspect. And I will say, I'm a little bit of a hater because I'm not a Seraphina fan. So I low-key loved in this book. Spoiler alert for Touch of Fate. So I'm not a Seraphina fan. But I loved that in this book, Samuel says, I do not forgive Seraphina for running off with Ramo after he caused so much shit to us. He kidnapped her on her wedding day. He killed my best friends in front of me. And I don't forgive her for running off with him. And when Emma's like, well, don't you miss your sister? He says, I miss the sister I thought I had. And I loved that out of everyone. The person who knew Seraphina the best in the outfit, Samuel, her twin brother, was the one who said what she did was fucked up and I don't forgive her for it. Because I don't know. I understand that Seraphina running away with Ramo was what needed to happen in that situation. Not only because she loved him, but because her kids were not going to ever be anything in the outfit. So I totally get why she ran away. My problem always was, no one ever acknowledged that her running away fucked up a lot of shit for them. Dante in Love or Bound by the Past just forgives her. Sophia and Danilo in their book, like, they view Seraphina as this idol who Sophia wants to be and Danilo can't stop obsessing over. And, like, even, like, reading between the lines, her parents, they don't really talk about her, but you can tell they miss her, and they're like, oh, we wish we could be part of her life, but we know that's not safe because of the Camorra. Samuel's really the only one who is like, I don't forgive her. What she did was messed up. And I loved that. I love that finally someone was putting fucking Seraphina in her place. Because I'm not a Seraphina fan. I'm sorry. I'm not a Seraphina fan. Again, I understand her actions, but I'm not a fan of her. Anyway, now that the rant's over, yeah, look out for that Cora Riley, because I have been vlogging myself reading all of Cora Riley's books, so there will be a huge Cora Riley reading vlog once I get those done and edited, so you know, probably like 5 years from now. That is everything. A pretty good month. Like, nothing clown, only one Michael Myers, one Wraith, and then most of it is Frank. Oh my goodness. I had such a good month apparently. But I'm gonna go here. Yeah. See you next time.